Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Have you ever noticed how fast life can get, even as the years go by? We rush through our day's appointments, errands, phone calls, family visits, always thinking about the next thing. Sometimes without really pausing to enjoy the moment where in nowhere is this truer than at the dinner table. How often have you sat down for a meal, only to find yourself eating quickly, distracted by the TV or your phone, barely tasting what's in front of you? Maybe you're thinking about chores, or maybe you're just hungry and want to move on with your day. But what if I told you that the pace at which you eat, yes, simply how fast or slow you take your meals, can play a quiet but powerful role in your overall health, and even more importantly, it can actually help protect you from a serious and sometimes life-threatening condition, pulmonary embolism. Now, that might sound surprising. After all, we usually hear about pulmonary embolism in the context of surgery, travel, or certain medical conditions. Rarely do we connect it to something as simple as our eating habits. But the latest research and decades of wisdom from doctors, nutritionists, and even grandmothers around the world suggests that the act of eating slowly and mindfully can make a big difference, especially for older adults. So let's pause together and take a closer look at how your mealtime habits can impact your risk of pulmonary embolism. I invite you to imagine your next meal not just as a routine, but as an opportunity. An opportunity to protect your body, support your heart and lungs, and create small, joyful rituals that keep you healthy and independent. But before we dive in, let's set the scene. Imagine a typical lunch. Perhaps a warm bowl of soup, some rice, and a few favorite dishes. You sit down, maybe with family or friends, or perhaps just with your own thoughts. If you're like most people, it's easy to get caught up in conversation, to let your mind wander, or to feel the urge to finish quickly. Maybe you eat standing up or in front of the TV, not really paying attention. In those moments, eating becomes automatic, something to check off your list. Yet, your body is paying attention. The pace of your meal affects everything from your digestion to your circulation, your breathing, and even the subtle ways your heart and lungs work together. When you eat quickly, your body may not have time to properly digest, and you're more likely to feel bloated, sluggish, or uncomfortable afterward. For seniors, these feelings can sometimes lead to sitting still for longer periods after eating, feeling too tired or heavy to move, or even needing a nap. This prolonged inactivity, especially after a large or heavy meal, can contribute to slower circulation, which in turn increases your risk of pulmonary embolism. Now, you might be wondering, how can something as everyday as eating slowly help protect against such a serious problem? Here's where it gets interesting. When you eat slowly and mindfully, taking time to chew your food, enjoy the flavors, and listen to your body's signals, you not only improve digestion, but also support healthier circulation. This gentle, attentive approach helps keep your body moving, even at rest. You're less likely to feel that heavy, uncomfortable food coma that makes you want to stay in your chair all afternoon. And that's not all. Mindful eating often means eating just the right amount, not too much, not too little. Overeating, especially late in life, can lead to weight gain, metabolic stress, and increased inflammation, all of which put extra strain on your cardiovascular system. By listening to your body and slowing down, you give your organs, including your lungs and heart, the best chance to work in harmony. You're also more likely to get up and move after a meal, stretch your legs, or take a gentle walk. All simple actions that further reduce the risk of pulmonary embolism. But let's not forget the emotional benefits. Eating slowly isn't just about health, it's also about pleasure, connection, and gratitude. Meals become a time to savor, to reflect, to share stories, and to appreciate the good things in life. And when we eat in this mindful way, we send signals to our bodies that we are safe, cared for, and present in the moment. This sense of well-being translates to lower stress, steadier blood pressure, and a calmer heart rate, all of which contribute to a lower risk of pulmonary embolism. So, as we explore this topic together, I invite you to look at your next meal as more than just nourishment. See it as a chance to care for yourself in the simplest, kindest way. By slowing down, being present, and letting each bite work for your health. In the next segment, we'll break down exactly how these mindful habits work, the science behind them, and practical tips for making slow, joyful eating a daily part of your life, no matter your age or circumstances. Stay with me, because this journey could help you reclaim not only your mealtime, but your energy, your confidence, and your freedom from hidden risks. Let's get started. Let's take a deeper look at the connection between how you eat and the health of your lungs specifically. How slowing down at the table can actually help protect you from pulmonary embolism. You might be wondering, how does something as simple as chewing a little longer or putting your fork down between bites make any real difference for my lungs? The answer lies in the wonderful interconnected systems of our bodies, where even the smallest habits ripple out to have big effects. To start, think about what happens in your body after a quick, heavy meal. Your stomach fills up quickly, and your body goes into overdrive trying to digest it all. This often causes a rush of blood to your digestive organs, making you feel sleepy, sluggish, or even a bit short of breath. For seniors, that full and tired feeling is more than just an annoyance. It often leads to long stretches of inactivity. Maybe sitting back in your chair, or even lying down for a nap right after eating. And here's where the risk starts to grow. When you stay still for too long after a meal, especially a large one, your circulation slows, particularly in your legs. Blood pools in the lower half of your body, making it easier for tiny clots to form, which can then travel to your lungs and become a pulmonary embolism. The risk is subtle and silent, which is why so many people, especially older adults, don't even realize it's happening. But let's shift to a more mindful approach. Imagine a different mealtime one, where you sit down and take a deep breath. Before eating, maybe you notice the color and aroma of your food. You take smaller bites, chew thoroughly, and pause to talk with a friend or enjoy the music playing in the background. Each mouthful is savored, and you find yourself naturally eating less, feeling more satisfied, and finishing your meal with energy instead of heaviness. What's happening inside your body is just as gentle and beneficial. By eating slowly, you give your digestive system time to signal your brain that you're full, so you're less likely to overeat. You help your heart and lungs keep a steady rhythm, and you avoid that sudden, heavy rush of blood to the gut. This makes you more likely to get up and move after eating, or even take a gentle walk, both of which keep your circulation strong and reduce the risk of pulmonary embolism. There's also a beautiful bonus. Mindful eating reduces stress. When you eat in a calm, unrushed environment, your body shifts out of fight or flight mode and into rest and digest. Your blood pressure drops, your breathing steadies, and your muscles relax. All of this supports better oxygen flow throughout your body, helping your lungs do their job and keeping you resilient against health threats. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on a real-life example. Consider Mary, a 73-year-old retiree, who always rushed her meals after years of busy family life. When she started practicing mindful eating, she noticed not only less bloating, but also more energy throughout her day. She felt less compelled to nap after lunch and found herself enjoying short walks with her grandchildren. Over time, these gentle changes helped her feel healthier and lowered her risk of pulmonary embolism. Simply by keeping her body moving and her circulation steady. Of course, changing mealtime habits can feel strange at first, especially if you've spent decades eating quickly out of necessity. But the science is clear. Slow, attentive eating brings measurable benefits, especially for seniors. You give your digestive, cardiovascular, and respiratory systems. The best support possible, and you make every meal a small investment in your long-term health. So as you think about your next breakfast, lunch, or dinner, remember, your plate is more than just food. It's an opportunity for healing, strength, and self-care. Slow down, breathe deeply, and let each bite become an act of wellness. In the next segment, we'll share practical, step-by-step tips for making mindful eating a daily habit, and how to gently introduce these changes into your routine. No matter your age or health background, stay with me as we discover together how small steps at the table can lead to bigger, brighter steps in your life. Now that we've explored the science behind mindful eating and its powerful connection to your lung health, let's talk about how you can bring this wisdom into your daily life. You might be surprised by how a few small, intentional changes to your eating habits can create a ripple effect of wellness that goes far beyond the kitchen table. To begin, imagine your next meal as a special occasion, one that deserves your full attention, no matter how simple the food or how ordinary the day. It doesn't require fancy settings or hours of preparation. What matters most is the mindset you bring to the table. Start by setting the scene. Before your meal, take a moment to turn off distractions. Maybe put away your phone or switch off the TV, consider playing soft music, or simply enjoying the quiet. This isn't about making things perfect. It's about giving yourself permission to slow down, breathe, and enjoy the moment. As you sit down, notice your posture. Sitting upright with your feet planted on the floor helps your body digest food more easily and keeps your lungs open for deep, relaxed breaths. Next, let's talk about portioning and pacing. Begin with a modest serving, knowing you can always return for seconds if you're truly hungry. As you take your first bite, put your fork or spoon down and allow yourself to chew slowly, really tasting each flavor and noticing the texture. Between bites, take a sip of water and check in with how you're feeling. This natural pause gives your brain time to register fullness, helping you avoid overeating and reducing the temptation to slump in your chair afterward. Many people find that sharing meals with others naturally encourages a slower pace. Conversation provides natural pauses, and the act of connecting with loved ones brings joy and relaxation that benefit your heart and lungs. If you're eating alone, try saying a few words of gratitude for your meal, or simply pay attention to your breathing between bites. Both practices help create a sense of calm and purpose at the table. You might also consider gentle movement after your meal. Even just standing up to clear the dishes, taking a few steps around the house, or stepping outside for a breath of fresh air can make a big difference. Movement after eating helps stimulate circulation, ensuring that your blood keeps flowing freely and reducing the risk of pulmonary embolism. Some people enjoy a short walk. Others prefer stretching or even dancing to a favorite song, whatever feels good for your body and fits easily into your lifestyle. It's important to recognize that mindful eating isn't about restriction or guilt. It's about celebration and self-care. You're not punishing yourself by eating more slowly or saying no to second helpings. Instead, you're honoring your body's signals and giving your digestive and respiratory systems the support they need to thrive, especially as you age. Let's hear from a real example. Imagine David, a 76-year-old grandfather who spent decades rushing through meals while juggling work and family life. When his doctor recommended mindful eating as part of his recovery from pulmonary embolism, David was skeptical. But after just a few weeks of slowing down at the table, he noticed not only better digestion and energy, but also fewer afternoon aches and a renewed appreciation for the taste and texture of his food. For David, mindful eating became a new way to experience pleasure and health, one meal at a time. As you consider your own journey, remember, every meal is a new opportunity. Maybe tonight, you'll choose to eat dinner without screens. Maybe tomorrow, you'll invite a friend to share a slow lunch or pause to savor your morning coffee. Each small step brings you closer to better health, a calmer mind, and stronger lungs. In our next segment, we'll explore how to overcome common challenges like social pressure, old habits, or busy schedules that can make mindful eating feel difficult. With a little patience and practice, you can turn every bite into a gift of wellness, protecting yourself from pulmonary embolism and embracing each day with greater vitality. Stay tuned and let's keep moving forward together. Let's be honest, creating new habits, especially around meals, can feel a little challenging at first. Maybe you've tried to slow down before, but found yourself distracted. Or maybe you felt awkward practicing mindfulness when everyone else seems to be eating quickly. The good news is, you're not alone, and even small steps can lead to big changes over time. In this segment, we'll explore practical ways to overcome common obstacles and build a mindful eating routine that truly sticks, empowering you to protect yourself against pulmonary embolism and nourish your well-being at every age. To begin, recognize that change starts with awareness, not with judgment. If you notice yourself rushing through meals or reaching for food out of habit rather than hunger, simply pause and take a gentle breath. That moment of noticing is already a victory. It's a signal that you care about your health and want to do better for yourself. One of the most effective strategies is to plan ahead. Consider setting reminders for meal times, just as you might for medication or doctor's appointments. You can even use your smartphone or a kitchen timer to signal when it's time to sit, breathe, and focus on your food. Preparing your meals in advance or keeping healthy snacks within easy reach can reduce the temptation to eat on the go or skip meals altogether. If you find it difficult to slow down because of a busy schedule or family demands, try mealtime as an act of self-care, not just another task on your list. Remind yourself that these minutes at the table are an investment in your future health, your energy, and your independence. Even when dining with others, invite them to join you in slowing down, perhaps by starting each meal with a shared moment of gratitude, or by making conversation the main course rather than rushing through your plates. Sometimes, old habits can be stubborn. Maybe you grew up in a household where eating quickly was the norm, or perhaps you feel pressure to finish your meal before anyone else. In these moments, it helps to create new rituals. Light a candle, play a favorite song, or use a special set of dishes, anything that marks the meal as a unique, cherished experience. Over time, these small rituals become signals to your brain and body. It's time to relax, enjoy, and nourish yourself. Let's consider the story of Linda, a 72-year-old who struggled for years with emotional eating, especially during stressful times. Linda started journaling after meals, noting not only what she ate, but also how she felt before, during, and after each meal. This simple practice helped her recognize patterns and triggers like eating when bored or anxious, and gently guided her toward more mindful choices. Linda didn't become perfect overnight, but by celebrating progress rather than perfection, she slowly built habits that supported her lung health and overall well-being. Social settings can also pose a challenge. At family gatherings or community events, it's easy to revert to old patterns, eating quickly or reaching for second helpings without thinking. If this sounds familiar, try focusing on the people, not just the food. Engage in meaningful conversation, listen to stories, and savor the social connection as much as the meal itself. If you feel rushed, take a deep breath and gently remind yourself that you're in control of your pace. And finally, don't underestimate the power of community support. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or an online group, sharing your goals and challenges can keep you motivated and inspired. Invite loved ones to join you in mindful eating challenges. Exchange healthy recipes, or simply check in with each other about your progress. In closing, remember that mindful eating is not about strict rules or denial. It's about honoring your body's needs, savoring life's flavors, and taking proactive steps to guard your health, especially against conditions like pulmonary embolism. Each mindful meal is a step toward a longer, stronger, more joyful life. Keep at it, be patient with yourself, and know that every day brings a fresh opportunity to choose wellness. In our next segment, we'll dive deeper into the specific foods and meal patterns that best support your lung health and overall vitality. So stay tuned, your healthiest years are just ahead. Now that you've learned how to slow down and savor each bite, let's take your journey even further by looking at what you're putting on your plate. After all, mindful eating isn't just about the pace, it's also about the power of your choices. Every meal is an opportunity to give your body the nutrients it needs to support healthy lungs and lower the risk of pulmonary embolism, especially as you age. First, let's explore what foods deserve a regular spot on your menu. Think of your plate as a colorful canvas. The more variety you include, the greater the range of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants you'll get. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are especially valuable, packed with vitamin K, which plays a role in healthy blood flow and vessel strength. Berries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries bring a burst of flavor along with inflammation-fighting nutrients, helping to keep your body's inner environment calm and balanced. Don't overlook the power of whole grains, such as brown rice, quinoa, oats, and barley. These complex carbohydrates deliver slow, steady energy and are rich in fiber, which supports digestion and may help maintain a healthy weight, another key factor in preventing pulmonary embolism. Add in lean proteins such as chicken, fish, tofu, or beans, which not only help with tissue repair but also keep you feeling full and satisfied, so you're less likely to snack on processed, unhealthy foods. Let's not forget healthy fats. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, and seeds provide essential fatty acids that your body needs for heart and lung health. They also help you absorb fat-soluble vitamins like a D, E, A, and K. A drizzle of olive oil over steamed vegetables, a handful of walnuts as a snack, or a spoonful of chia seeds in your morning oatmeal can make a big difference. Of course, it's equally important to be mindful of foods that are best enjoyed in moderation. Highly processed foods, salty snacks, and sugary treats may be tempting, but they can lead to inflammation, weight gain, and, over time, a higher risk of health problems, including pulmonary embolism. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy your favorite comfort food. Instead, try savoring smaller portions and balancing them with nutrient-rich choices throughout the rest of your day. For example, let's consider the story of George, a retired teacher in his 70s. George loved fast food, but after a health scare, he challenged himself to cook more meals at home. He started by adding one new vegetable each week, and soon was experimenting with fresh herbs and spices to bring his meals to life. Not only did George lose weight and gain energy, but he also noticed his breathing improved and he felt more alert throughout the day. When it comes to beverages, water should be your mainstay. Herbal teas, such as chamomile or peppermint, can offer comfort and hydration, while freshly squeezed citrus juice like orange or grapefruit delivers vitamin C and a refreshing twist. Be cautious with sodas and sugary drinks, which can spike blood sugar and add empty calories, and try to limit caffeine and alcohol, both of which can dehydrate your body and strain your heart. If you're not sure where to start, try this simple formula for every meal. Half your plate should be fruits and vegetables, a quarter whole grains, and a quarter lean protein. Add a side of water or herbal tea, and you have a balanced, lung-friendly meal. To sum up, the foods you choose matter just as much as how you eat them. Mindful, intentional food choices, enjoyed at a relaxed pace, help build a strong foundation for healthy lungs, better energy, and a lower risk of pulmonary embolism at any age. Every bite is a chance to support your future, so embrace the process, get creative, and let your meals nourish both your body and your spirit. Stay with me as we move to our final segment, where I'll share practical tips for turning mindful eating into a lifelong habit, one that brings you health, joy, and lasting independence. As we approach the heart of this journey together, let's pause and remember why mindful eating is such a game changer, especially for seniors. Looking to lower their risk of pulmonary embolism and maintain vitality, it's not just about what you eat or how fast you finish a meal. It's about transforming every dining experience into a celebration of life, health, and connection. Now, you might be wondering, how do I actually make mindful eating a daily habit rather than just a good intention? That's exactly what we'll dive into now. Start by creating a dedicated space for your meals. It doesn't matter if it's a cozy spot by the window, your favorite chair at the kitchen table, or even a sunny corner on the porch. What matters is setting aside distractions, turn off the TV, put away your phone, and give yourself permission to focus on the food in front of you. Studies show that even simple changes like these can make you more aware of how much you eat and help you notice flavors, textures, and fullness cues you might otherwise miss. Let's talk about mealtime rituals. Maybe you light a candle, say a few words of gratitude, or take 3 slow breaths before picking up your fork. These small acts can set a positive tone for your meal and help shift your mind from the busyness of the day into a state of relaxation. You might be surprised at how much more you enjoy your food and how much easier it becomes to eat slowly and purposefully. Now, consider the people around your table. Sharing meals with family, friends, or neighbors isn't just good for your heart, it's good for your lungs too. Laughter and conversation naturally slow the pace of eating. Plus, the sense of connection you feel can reduce stress, which is another key factor in protecting your overall health. If you often eat alone, try connecting with a friend over the phone or joining a community meal when possible. Even virtual dinners can make a difference. Next, let's turn to mindful shopping and cooking. Planning your meals ahead of time doesn't just save money and reduce stress. It also helps you fill your kitchen with foods that nourish your lungs and support your well-being. Try making a grocery list focused on colorful produce, whole grains, and lean proteins. Challenge yourself to experiment with one new healthy recipe each week, or swap out an old favorite for a lighter, fresher version. Remember, habits don't change overnight. Start with one mindful meal per day, maybe breakfast, where you can set the tone for the hours ahead. Pay attention to your hunger and fullness cues. Stop eating when you feel satisfied, not stuffed. Over time, these small steps will become second nature, and you'll find yourself naturally choosing healthier foods and enjoying them more. Let's not forget hydration, an essential part of mindful eating that often gets overlooked. Keep a glass of water or herbal tea by your side, and take small sips between bites. Hydration supports your body's natural processes, keeps your lungs healthy, and can even reduce feelings of fatigue or brain fog that sometimes sneak up during meals. Stories from real, cave people can make these strategies feel even more possible. Take Margaret, an 82-year-old grandmother who used to rush through breakfast to get to her morning chores. Once she started setting aside 10 quiet minutes to enjoy her oatmeal, she found her digestion improved, her mood lifted, and she was less likely to reach for sugary snacks later in the day. Or think of Bill, who began inviting his neighbor over for Sunday lunch, turning an ordinary meal into a weekly highlight filled with laughter and new recipes. Above all, remember that mindful eating is a gift you give yourself, one that doesn't require perfection, just presence. You have the power to turn every meal into a moment of nourishment, connection, and joy. Start where you are. Celebrate small wins and share your journey with those you love. Your table can be the foundation of a healthier, more vibrant life. One delicious, mindful bite at a time. Stay tuned for our closing thoughts and some final inspiration to keep you motivated, uplifted, and empowered on your path to better lung health and lifelong vitality. Now, as we journey deeper into this conversation about mindful eating and its remarkable benefits for protecting against pulmonary embolism, let's face a reality that many of us know all too well. Change isn't always easy. Old habits, especially. Those shaped over decades, can be stubborn. You might have grown up in a family where eating quickly was the norm, or perhaps you live alone and find meals less exciting without company. Sometimes you're just tired, or your appetite isn't what it used to be, and it seems simpler to snack on whatever is close at hand. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the good news. Small changes, gently woven into your daily life, can add up to truly transformative results. First, let's talk about the power of routine. Seniors often thrive on daily structure. So why not anchor your new mindful eating habits to something you already do? For example, try placing your meal at the same time each day, maybe after a favorite radio program or a walk in the garden. When you sit down, let that moment become a signal. It's time to slow down and savor. If you find yourself eating too quickly, experiment with using smaller utensils, a salad fork instead of a dinner fork, or even chopsticks. This simple switch naturally slows your pace, giving your stomach and mind time to connect and recognize when you're satisfied. Another tip: try putting your utensil down between each bite. Take a breath, enjoy the flavors, notice the texture. By the time you pick your fork up again, you'll be more present and less likely to overeat. What about those days when you feel lonely at the table? Technology can help bridge the gap. Consider video calling a friend or loved one for a virtual meal, even if you're eating different dishes. If you're part of a senior center or community group, ask if they host regular shared lunches, either in person or online. Shared mealtime, even virtually, can encourage you to slow down and truly appreciate both the food and the conversation. Let's address another challenge: limited appetite or taste changes, which are common as we age or after an illness. If food just isn't appealing, try adding colorful fruits, a squeeze of citrus, or a sprinkle of fresh herbs to your plate. These little touches can make meals look and taste more inviting, helping you reconnect with the pleasure of eating. Sometimes playing soft music or enjoying your meal in a sunny spot can boost your appetite and mood. Another helpful strategy is to plan and prepare meals in advance when you have energy. Cooking in batches and freezing individual portions can ensure you always have nourishing, ready-to-eat options, even on days when cooking feels overwhelming. Plus, knowing your freezer is stocked with wholesome meals means you're less likely to grab processed snacks in a hurry. Don't forget to listen to your body and honor its signals. If you feel full after half your meal, it's perfectly fine to save the rest for later. Mindful eating isn't about rigid rules, it's about trust and self-care. On days when you're more active or hungry, allow yourself a little extra. When you're tired or less hungry, enjoy a lighter meal. Finally, give yourself grace and patience. Adopting a new approach to eating takes time, and there will be days when you slip into old habits. That's not failure, it's part of the journey. Celebrate your progress, however small, and remember that every mindful meal is a step toward better lung health and overall well-being. In the end, mindful eating is about more than just meals. It's about honoring your life's pace, your body's wisdom, and your right to enjoy food in a way that supports your long-term health. As you embrace these changes, you're not just protecting yourself against pulmonary embolism, you're reclaiming the daily joy and dignity that comes from truly savoring the present moment. In our final segment, we'll bring all these insights together and inspire you to turn knowledge into action, making every meal an act of love and longevity. Stay with me, because your healthiest years are still ahead. Let's take everything we've explored so far and imagine how it can look in real life, right in your own kitchen or dining room. Because while it's wonderful to talk about mindful eating, the real magic happens when these lessons find their way into your daily habits effortlessly, joyfully, and in a way that truly feels like you. If you're wondering how to make mindful eating stick, especially when you're busy, tired, or maybe not sure you'll remember, don't worry. The best rituals begin with intention and grow stronger with each simple step. Start with your morning. Picture waking up, maybe stretching as sunlight filters through your window. Instead of rushing through breakfast or grabbing something on the go, choose one small way to slow down. Perhaps you pour a glass of water and sit at the table, noticing the coolness of the glass in your hand, the sound of birds outside, the first sips of tea or coffee warming your throat. This gentle beginning is your anchor for the day, reminding you that nourishment is as much about peace as it is about calories or vitamins. As you plan your meals, consider setting aside distractions. Turn off the television. Put down your phone. Even if you're eating alone, let this be a moment of focus and self-care. Look at your plate. Notice the colors, the arrangement of food, the scents rising up. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? What story does this meal tell about the care I'm giving my body? Gratitude, even for the simplest meal, shifts your mindset from just eating to truly living. Invite curiosity to the table. 2. Try tasting your food slowly, as if you're meeting each flavor for the first time. Savor the crunch of fresh vegetables, the softness of cooked grains, the brightness of a squeeze of lemon, or the richness of a hearty soup. With each bite, ask yourself how you feel. Are you still hungry or beginning to feel satisfied? Mindful? Eating is not about clearing your plate. It's about listening for the gentle cues your body sends when it's had enough for families and caregivers. Mindful eating can be a beautiful way to connect across generations. Share stories about favorite childhood dishes. Let grandchildren help set the table or pick out a new fruit to try. Every meal becomes a lesson in attention and care, a gift that ripples outward, teaching younger family members the importance of respecting their bodies. 2. And what about the times when eating feels challenging, when illness, grief, or change makes it hard to find joy in food? This is when mindful eating can be the most healing. Even a single mindful breath before your meal, a pause to notice the comfort of soup on a cold day, or the kindness of a neighbor dropping off homemade bread can remind you that nourishment comes in many forms. Healing is not just physical. It's emotional, and every mindful moment is a step toward wholeness. Finally, remember that habits grow with repetition, not perfection. Some days will be easier than others. There will be moments when old patterns sneak back in when you finish a meal too quickly or forget to pause. That's natural. Just return to your intention, gently and without judgment. Each meal is a new opportunity, a fresh start by weaving mindful eating into the fabric of your daily life. You are not just lowering your risk for pulmonary embolism, you're investing in a life that feels rich, grounded, and deeply satisfying. Every mindful meal is a celebration of your body's wisdom, your resilience, and your commitment to a vibrant, healthy future. As we move into the outro, get ready to reflect on your journey and take the final steps toward making mindful eating a source of strength, joy, and protection for your lungs and your life. As we come to the close of today's journey, let's take a moment together to reflect not just on the facts, but on the true heart of what mindful eating can bring to your life, especially when it comes to protecting your lungs and lowering your risk of pulmonary embolism. Perhaps as you've listened, you've recognized some habits you already practice, or maybe you've discovered new ideas you're eager to try. Wherever you are on this path, know that the most important step is simply the willingness to begin, and to return to these lessons again and again, with patience and kindness toward yourself now. You might be wondering, can slowing down at meals really make that much difference? The answer is a resounding yes. When you approach each meal with awareness, gratitude, and gentleness, you create space for your body to function at its best. Digestion improves. Your circulation gets a boost as you move and stretch between courses, or as you pause for a deep breath before taking your next bite. Most importantly, mindful eating helps you tune into the subtle messages your body sends, messages that might warn you when something's off. Long before it becomes a crisis, it's easy to think that health is only about medicine or the doctor's office. But every day, with every meal, you have the power to shape your own future. Imagine finishing lunch, not just full, but truly nourished, your heart lighter, your mind clearer, your body feeling cared for from the inside out. These moments are what add up over time, quietly building resilience and reducing risks, including pulmonary embolism. Let's also remember, mindful eating isn't about perfection or rigid rules. There will be family celebrations, hurried days, or times when you simply want comfort food. That's perfectly okay. The gift of mindfulness is that you can always begin again with the next bite, the next meal, the next gentle breath. Over time, you may even notice that the joy more soundly, move more often, or savor the beauty in ordinary moments. Maybe you're someone who enjoys sharing meals with loved ones. Imagine the ripple effect when you bring mindfulness to your table. Not only are you protecting your own health, but you're inspiring those around you to slow down and listen to their bodies too. Conversations deepen, laughter lingers. Meals become a time of true connection, strengthening both body and spirit. If you live alone, mindful eating can be a special act of self-care, a way to remind yourself every day that you matter, and that your well-being is worth the extra attention. Even a single meal enjoyed with presence and gratitude can brighten your mood and give you strength for the hours ahead. Before we say goodbye, I want to invite you to take one small step today. Maybe it's pouring a glass of water before your next meal, pausing to notice its clarity and coolness. Maybe it's chewing each bite a little slower, or taking a walk around your home after you eat. No matter how small, these actions are seeds you're planting for a healthier, more vibrant life. And as always, don't keep this wisdom to yourself. Share what you've learned with friends, neighbors, or family. Ask them to join you in a mindful meal or start a new tradition together. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing for more advice. And leave a comment with your own tips or experiences. Your story could encourage someone else. Remember, every meal is a chance to celebrate your health, protect your lungs, and claim a brighter future one mindful bite at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, keep breathing deeply, eating with awareness, and living each day with joy and intention. Your best days are ahead. Let's savor them together.